Hello. Before we begin, let's just take a quiet moment together.
Right now, you are here.
But your mind, well, it isn't, is it? It's somewhere else entirely, maybe lost in the past or racing ahead into the future. So, let's talk about this feeling. When your mind is elsewhere. You know what I mean, right? It's late at night, the room is completely silent, you want to sleep, but your mind, it just won't switch off.
And this is how it starts. An old memory just appears. Out of nowhere. Then maybe a mistake you made follows right behind it, and then a fear. Each one uninvited, each one pulling you further from rest.
Your mind gets stuck in the past, just replaying these tiny moments over and over again. You find yourself asking, why did I say that? And then, just as quickly, it snaps forward into the future. It starts building these scenarios, these stories of what could go wrong. What if everything fails? And you can feel it, can't you? Your heart starts beating just a little faster.
You're exhausted, but your mind is just running a marathon. If this sounds familiar, it's because it's an incredibly common experience. This feeling has a name. And, more importantly, there's a reason it happens.
So let's get into the biology of worry. And this part is really important. What you're feeling. It isn't a personal failing. It's not a weakness. It's actually a biological process. In a way, it was designed as a feature, not a bug, a survival tool that kept our ancestors safe. So let's take a look at why your brain does this.
Okay, so deep inside your brain, you have something called the amygdala. The easiest way to think of it is as your body's personal alarm system. Its one job is to scan for danger and keep you safe.
Now here's where the problem starts. That alarm system, it often can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and a threat that's only in your mind. To your brain, an anxious thought can feel just as real, just as dangerous, and it triggers the very same alarm.
And when those thoughts and fears get stuck on a loop, repeating over and over, there's a word for that. It's called rumination. And with every single loop, that feeling of danger gets stronger, and the alarm in your brain just gets louder and louder.
And this isn't just happening in your head. This mental state has very real, very physical consequences. Your body starts to release stress hormones, like cortisol. Of course, sleep suffers, your ability to focus just breaks. And over time, being in this constant state of high alert starts to weaken the body.
So I want to repeat something really important here. This is not a weakness. This is biology. It's a built-in response. And the good news about a response is that it can be managed, it can be redirected, it can be retrained.
Okay, so how do we do that? That brings us to a very practical tool, a 60-second reset. This is something you can do right now, an immediate way to interrupt that cycle of overthinking. And all it takes is about a minute. The idea here isn't to fight your thoughts or try to force them to stop. That usually doesn't work. Instead, this is about using your senses to gently pull your mind out of the past, out of the future, and bring it right back into the present moment, right back to the here and now.
So, let's try this together, right now. First, just acknowledge what's happening. Silently say to yourself, my mind is spiraling. That's it, no judgment. And then, take one slow, deep breath. Now, look around you and silently name 5 things you can see. It could be anything, just notice them. Good. Now, bring your attention to 4 things you can feel. Maybe it's the chair beneath you, the texture of your clothing, your feet on the floor. Next, listen. What are 3 things you can hear? A faint noise outside, the hum of a device, even the sound of your own quiet breathing. Now, 2 things you can smell. Is there a scent in the air, or maybe just the neutral smell of the room? And finally, 1 thing you can taste. Maybe the last thing you ate or drank, or simply the awareness of your own palate. You see what just happened? For that last minute or so, your mind was busy. It was focused on the present. It didn't have the space to spiral. You just performed what's called a neural interruption. It's not magic, it's a real process, and you were in complete control of it.
So, why does that work so well? Let's look at how calm is restored. We're going to dive into the simple, but really powerful logic behind what you just did.
Remember that alarm center we talked about, the amygdala? Well, overthinking is what sets it off. But the grounding exercise you just did, that activates a different part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. That's your control center. So you literally just shifted your brain's activity away from the alarm center and over to the control center.
And when that control center takes the wheel, the alarm in the amygdala starts to quiet down. Your whole nervous system gets the message and begins to calm itself. It sends one single, powerful signal to the rest of your body: you are safe.
Think of this like building a muscle. Every single time you practice this, you're strengthening the connection, the neural pathway, to that feeling of calm. The more you do it, the easier it gets, and calm becomes something you can access much, much faster.
So that 60-second reset is like an emergency brake. It's an amazing tool for when you're already spiraling. But what about the long term? That's what this final section is about, the practice of presence.
The path to a more lasting calm isn't about getting rid of thoughts. You don't have to fight them. The practice is to just let them pass, like clouds in the sky. You get to choose which ones gets your attention. And remember this, one small, simple action in the real world is almost always better than getting lost in 1,000 thoughts. Staying present, right here, right now, that is the real foundation for calm, and it's something you can practice every single day.
Ultimately, this isn't about trying to achieve some kind of perfect silent mind. It's just about learning how to come back, how to return to a sense of control, one moment at a time. Because your peace, it really does matter.